Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Todd Talk, episode 6. Because when Todd talks, people listen. I am really hoping. I'm serious. I'm really hoping you do. So, sorry for the delay between posts. I know it's been a while. Just been busy personally. I have been preparing for the launch of Home Number 1, which is actually coming out this Friday, which is only a few days away. I have links below to our Facebook page and our event page on Facebook. So if you are interested in checking out a fantasy miniseries done by me, links are there. And same goes for our SoundCloud page. So on this very chilly January episode, I'm seriously cold right now. It's not even funny. Um, I thought I'd delve into an issue I saw come up on the internet the other day, and it's involving a movie that I am very excited for. If you can't tell, I'm actually representing it right now. It's Batman versus Superman. And one of the, I guess, controversies of this movie, and yes, I just did the quotation marks with my hands, uh, is around a couple of the main actors and actress in this particular case. It really all started when Batman vs Superman was announced, and the main question was who would Batman be, and then it was revealed that it would be none other than award-winning actor and director Ben Affleck, which did not garner a lot of support immediately. I'll tell you my reaction later. And then it got even more weird when Jesse Eisenberg was cast as Lex Luthor and Gal Gadot was cast as Diana Themyscira, aka Wonder Woman. And ever since then, especially as the trailers and the clips have been coming out, there's just been this wave of backlash from some fans, proclaiming that these people are not the right characters. And it's a complicated issue. Okay, it really is, because as fans, we have a vision, we have a connection to these characters, especially growing up in the generation we have, especially with all these different like animated series, and especially if you're a comic book fan, these different interpretations. You think of them in one way. Like, I know if you say Batman to certain people, they don't think of Christian Bale, they don't think of Michael Keaton, they think of Kevin Conroy and his interpretation in Batman the Animated Series, and then Justice League, and now the Arkham Knight games. For many people, he's the Batman, and so when people heard, oh, Ben Affleck, what the heck are they doing? It rattles some people, because you think of this, this particular image of Batman, and that's understandable. However, just like I kind of said, like a couple seconds ago, there are different iterations of every single character in comics. It's just the way it is. I mean, just take a look at DC. Think of how Batman has evolved over the course of 75 plus years. He went from Dark Avenger to lighthearted in the Silver Age, what we define as the Adam West kind of thing, and then he went absolutely brutal, in his return, and now he's more well balanced, Dark Knight, detective, what have you. There is no wrong version of Batman. It's just what the times make him. Sometimes he is just the detective. Sometimes he is the Dark Knight of Vengeance. Sometimes he is the, one-liners, fists of justice and all that kind of stuff. It's all who he is. He's a very multi-layered character. That's why we love him so much. So when I see people, outraged that, someone's playing Batman, or someone's playing Wonder Woman, someone's playing Lex Luthor, let's remember there's different versions of every single character, even in the animated series that we see him in. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, and a great example is Superman. In the Superman animated series, we got to see him be the lighthearted, champion of justice, truth, justice, in the American way. And yet when we got to Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, we got to see a more, especially Unlimited, for those of you who remember the arc, the Cadmus arc, you know, we got to see a much darker Superman, one who had been, you know, hurt by people closest to him, who was betrayed by a man he once called his closest friend, in Emil Hamilton. And neither side was wrong. I actually referenced this in a lovely little Twitter debate with Dan Slott about what Superman is. I will always remember that darkness that Superman showed in that series because it wasn't wrong. It was just a character reacting based on different events that have happened to him. And that's just the way it is. So when I think about these people saying, you know, oh, Gal Gadot shouldn't be Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck shouldn't be Batman, Jesse Eisenberg shouldn't be Lex Luthor, I think, why not? Now, if they absolutely butcher the role, we could say we were right. But just based on trailers, just based on first looks and, you know, outfits and everything. Okay, for the record, Batman looks ripped. Okay, this is easily the most ripped Batman we have ever seen, and this is saying something because you know how Christian Bale looked in the Dark Knight films. You know, this is easily the most muscular Batman we have ever seen, and it's easily comparable, even in just the outfit, as many have noted, to The Dark Knight Returns, done by Frank Miller. You know, that's the inspiration here. And then there's, you know, Wonder Woman, who looks very much like the Amazon warrior princess we know her to be, and yet people are complaining that, you know, she doesn't look muscular enough. Well, I grew up with the cartoons of Wonder Woman, voiced by Susan Eisenberg, amazing lady, and she wasn't overly muscular there. In fact, she had a very supermodelish figure, and yet no one complained then, or not to my knowledge, and, you know, that version of Wonder Woman is still revered for how she depicted the character, because she was still the warrior, but she still loved people and loved the earth more than anyone else. I will always remember Jeff Johns in an interview talking about how Diana loves the world, loves Earth more than anyone else on the planet, which is saying something. It's just because of who she is. And so it honestly shouldn't matter how she looks per se. There are exceptions, obviously. But just because Wonder Woman's quote-unquote skinny, or you think she's too skinny, doesn't mean she's not the character. I actually wrote an article for one of the websites I work for about how Zack Snyder said that the reason Gal Gadot got the role of Wonder Woman was because of how she played the character, not because of how she looked. And he even admitted they interviewed a lot of people because they wanted to get Wonder Woman right, as they should. Because, I mean, this is, you know, her modern-day big screen debut. So, you know, they interviewed a lot of people, but they said that Gal Gadot just played this with a nice, tender touch, a kind touch, and yet she would flip it on a dime and just go fierce. And she impressed not only Zack Snyder, but Ben Affleck, who apparently she was testing with. And Ben Affleck's like, she's good. And say what you will about Ben Affleck, he knows talent. Okay? He knows good. And that's the other thing. Why is Ben Affleck here? Because he knows better than anyone the dark side of superhero films. When a film doesn't go right and you are hated. He was hated for Daredevil, and he hated what happened with him in Daredevil. To this day, he still thinks about how bad Daredevil was. You know, in his eyes. I actually like the movie, Don't Shoot Me. So he goes, well, why would I want to be like the most popular character in, you know, comics history when I almost got scolded off the planet for, you know, doing a semi-popular hero? And he said very simply, it was the script. It was the script that, you know, said, okay, this is really good. I think I can do this. I like your take on the character. Ben Affleck can do anything he wants, okay? In the last decade or so, he's done so many good movies, you know, both in front of the camera and beyond and behind it. You know, Argo, The Town, there's Gone Girl. You know, these roles, he knows what's good. And so if he says this is a good movie and he's willing to put everything on the line because of what the script was to play Batman, one of the most, you know, iconic characters of all time, we got to give him a chance here. And if him and Zack Snyder, say what you will about him, he knows things. Okay, he's directed numerous successful films. If these two say that Gal Gadot is good and she can be what Wonder Woman is, let her. Okay? Let her. And as for Jesse Eisenberg, I read this very funny interview. It's like, because when we see the second Batman vs Superman trailer, we see him being all like lighthearted, like, boys, oh, Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, so happy to bring people together. Ooh, 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 nice handshake. You do not want to get in a fight with this man. Everyone's like, this isn't Lex. This isn't Lex. What the heck is this? Lex doesn't have this high pitched of a voice. And then I read an interview. It was like it was someone rebutting this argument. It's like, you do realize that Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor has everyone so off guard when he's around, because they think of him as this eccentric businessman that they'll never see him coming when he decides to take over, which we know he will in Batman vs Superman. That he has everyone so fooled that he's so low key and eccentric that people think, oh well, Lex won't do anything. He's Lex. Even Batman. Bruce Wayne was like, "Hi, Lex." He didn't want to look at him. That's how convincing he is in his role. And when he switches, that's when he'll get you. He'll be like, "Oh, yeah, exactly." Now, I won't lie. I will not lie. When I heard about Ben Affleck becoming Batman, I was not happy. Not because I don't like Ben Affleck. I do. He's a great actor, fantastic director, great person. I was hoping for Jim Caviezel, whom you might know from Person of Interest, if you watch that show. He was a rumored participant, and I just thought he had this perfect Batman voice, and he had, this look that says, "I'm Bruce Wayne, I'm Batman, I'm going to kill you." I know Batman doesn't kill, I know Batman doesn't kill. So when Ben Affleck was, announced, I wasn't happy, but, that's just how things go. And I accept that. And then, as I started reading about why Ben Affleck is Batman, I grew into it. And as for Wonder Woman, I won't lie, I wanted another actress who actually was rumored to be highly sought for the role of Gina Carano, the MMA fighter and actress, both who her and Gal Gadot were in the Fast and Furious series. Just saying. I thought she had the perfect body type. I thought she had the intensity, and I thought she had the look. Now the acting chops, you could give or take there, and you could say the same thing with Gal Gadot. But I really wanted her in there. And then as I'm seeing, more of Gal Gadot, and I'm hearing how she talks about Wonder Woman, and hearing how everything else is being talked about her, I'm fine with giving her the chance. And that's the thing here. We need to give them a chance. Yes, this is easily one of the most historic, iconic trios of characters, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, in the history books and books in general. And we all want it to be good, but if we don't give them the chance, how are we doing right by these characters? How are we doing right by these characters? We are their fans. We are the ones that keep them going. We are the reason they're going for 75 years, because we pick up the books and read them, watch their shows, we watch their movies, and we want to see more. And you could argue that in the last decade or so, even like the last 5 years, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman have been on the top of their game. Especially Batman and Wonder Woman, for anyone who's read like the New 52 from the beginning, that's been like almost a renaissance for them. And you want to see them done right, but we have to give them the chance to do right. And if you want to say, well, I still fear about the casting, look at all the casting decisions of the last however many years since the modern renaissance of comic books, movies. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Well, yeah, but that's Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But were we this excited when he was first in 2000? I didn't even know who he was. How about Christian Bale as Batman? Oh, it's Christian Bale as Batman. Did you really know him before Batman Begins? I didn't. I think I knew him from one movie, which was Ring of Fire. And, I didn't see him as, this grand Batman character. Or here's a great one. How about Heath Ledger as the Joker? Don't even tell me you knew that he was going to pull that out, because he did A Knight's Tale, and he was 10 Things I Hate About You, and Christopher Nolan said, that's my Joker. And for me, I was a big fan of, the Jack Nicholson Joker, and I have loved the, of course, Mark Hamill Joker. And, I will still say that those two, in my opinion, are better than Heath Ledger. version, he was good. I mean, my gosh, he scared my mom. Like, she went to saw the movie with us, and he scared my mom. So, he did. But if we didn't give him that chance, even after everything that happened, if we didn't give him that chance, how will we not be amazed by that role? One I was personally interested in was Chris Evans, who went from Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four to Captain America, two completely different characters, personality and stance. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. And then I actually didn't see Captain America in theaters because I just didn't think he pulled it off. And then I heard about how good it was. I rented the movie, and now I have the movie. Actually, yeah, see, I have it right here. So that's how good it was. And now when I think of Captain America, I think of Chris Evans because he pulled off that role with such grace and such trueness to the character that I can't think of him being anything else. You can say the same thing as Robert Downey Jr. As Iron Man. Who heard of Chris Hemsworth before Thor? Yeah, I remember some people who were mad that Samuel L. Jackson was Nick Fury, even though there is a black Nick Fury in the Ultimate version of the Marvel comics. It's just, you could go on and on. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton as Batman, there was a huge uproar for why he was selected as Batman, and yet for, however many years when the first saga Batman films came out, everyone said he was the best one, you know? So, look, I get it. Believe me, I get it. I'm a fan just like you. I mean, I'm wearing Batman shirts. I used to have a Justice League poster right over there. I had a Shazam poster and a Nightwing one on my door. I still have posters, by the way, just not on the walls anymore. Long story. We as fans want the best from these shows. We as fans want these characters to shine in a way that few understand. And that's what fans are. That's what makes us fans. We want this. We want the best. We want Batman vs Superman to be the most epic thing in the history of ever. Forget the whole Marvel DC rivalry. We just want to see it. This is history. This is Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman on the same screen at the same time in live action for the first time ever. Yeah, ever. I was thinking there was a TV show that, never mind. But yeah, in live action, on a movie screen, it's happening. We're getting the Trinity, and this is epic. But we can't let our feelings about these actors and these actresses weigh down our anticipation for this movie. We're a little over 2 months away from this happening, March 25th, and I'm very excited. I am chomping at the bit for this movie. I am excited. Like, last night was a national championship game. They were playing like a bunch of Batman vs Superman trailers, and I was actually explaining to my uncle why Batman and Superman were fighting in this movie because he couldn't comprehend, these two fighting, which shows he doesn't watch TV or read comics very much. But that's how excited I am for this. I am so happy we're getting this, and I can't wait for this movie, and I can't wait for Suicide Squad, and then the eventual Wonder Woman solo film, and then hopefully a Batman solo film, and the Man of Steel sequel, the true Man of Steel sequel, Man of Steel 2, not Batman vs Superman. And there's another example. I never heard of Henry Cavill before Batman vs Superman. I think I knew him in one movie, and yet now he's, in my opinion, the best Superman I've seen outside of the animated series, which is entirely, there's conversation. But the fact of the matter is, we sometimes let our fan pride get the best of us. And again, I've admitted I did it with Captain America, and I was outraged, when Ben Affleck got. But once you just take a moment, and you say, what is this character? Is it really just looks? Because it shouldn't be. Because we've seen mega bulky Superman, we've seen slightly leaner Superman, we've seen muscles rippling Wonder Woman and skinnier Wonder Woman, we've seen lean mean Batman, and we've seen Frank Miller Batman, and now Ben Affleck Batman. Each character has iterations, each character has time periods where they just go under changes, and it's the same thing with movies. You compare all the Batmans, they don't look the same. Compare the Supermans, they don't look the same. And that's the point. They evolve and they grow, and it's our job as fans to give them the chance to either show us that they are who we think they should be, or that they aren't who we thought they were. And that's just how it's going to be. The movie's coming out. It doesn't matter how much you rage. These characters are cast as these characters. They're coming. But will you give them the chance to wow you, or are you just going to sit by and say, no, I'm not going to watch it because I don't think he/she should be that part? That's on you. I'm seeing it. And if it's great, I'm probably going to see it twice because that's the kind of fan I am. And with that, I end this 6th episode of Todd Talk. I thank you for coming by. I hope I have inspired you to give this a conversation. I am fully open to talking with you in the comments below, or on our Facebook pages, or whatever you want. If you think they'll do good, if you think they'll do terrible, let's talk about it. Let's get a conversation going. You'll also find, as I mentioned, my comic Home is coming out this Friday, digitally and physically if you message me on Facebook via the homepage. The home page, not homepage, home page. Ha 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 ha. I hope you check it out. It's a fun little fantasy series, and it's really something special to me. It's definitely all about the characters. I thank you for coming by. If you've gotten this far, I know you were listening, and I will see you around.